Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see by the title, today I wanted to share my thoughts on why I feel like being a good girl is performative femininity. And hopefully I don't ruffle too many feathers with this video, but I have been thinking about this for a while and it literally won't leave me alone until I talk about it. So that's what we're gonna do today, okay? And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I just feel like in my life right now, I'm going through so many different changes and I feel like I'm finally stepping into like my young womanhood. And with that, I've just been reflecting on what it is I've been conditioned to believe is femininity, or what being a good woman actually is in this society. And based off of what I was taught, I was led to believe that being a good girl would get you chosen and that you would get literally everything that it is that you want out of life because you're pure, you're innocent, you never do anything wrong, and you're always a people pleaser and you're overgiving, you're overserving, because that's literally all that it is. Because me personally, I was conditioned to be a good girl, and in those conditions, that meant that I couldn't have a voice, I couldn't have an opinion, I couldn't sit down a certain way, I couldn't wear certain things, couldn't say certain things, couldn't feel certain things. I had to make sure I knew how to cook, had to make sure I knew how to clean, had to make sure I knew how to please, had to make sure that I was pure, had to make sure that I was super holy, and all of those things I was conditioned to believe makes you a good, worthy woman in this society to be chosen. I'm not saying that any of that stuff is bad. If that's something that you subscribe to, I feel like if that's you, you should definitely keep that energy, because if that's what you want, good for you. But for me personally, that's just not something that I'm gonna work, because being a good girl has too many constraints. I don't want to be held down in my life. I want to be free in all aspects of my life. So that's mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all of that. And being a good girl keeps you in a certain type of identity of servitude. And what is the real idea behind servitude anyway? Who is it that we are serving? Why as little girls are we conditioned to be in serve mode all the time? Why are we conditioned from a young age to always overgive? Why are we primed that way? And this is not facts, this is just my opinion. I feel like these people who condition people to always be a good girl or to be in servitude is because they believe that at the end of their life, having a man is the prize. Being chosen by a man is the prize. Because if men weren't in the equation, what's the reason behind doing all of these things to serve? Because you're not giving it to other women. A lot of these women who constantly subscribe and push this narrative of being a good woman in society just based off of trying to get a man and serve him are the same people who still participate and perpetuate misogyny against other women. And they're the same types of people who still go out here and be hateful towards other women, especially women who don't subscribe to their ideals. The same women who decide that they want to be free. They don't feel like they have to serve and overgive and sacrifice themselves just to be chosen by a man in life. And not even just a man, but everybody in general. I feel like what makes me a woman is the energy that I embody. It's my qualities. Are you nurturing? Are you caring? Do you know how to pour life into people? Because if you don't, and you just say, well, I look like this, so I look like a woman, you know. And I'm not saying at all that just because you decide you want to have the hair, the makeup, the nails, the dresses and all of that, that's wrong. Because I do feel like that is a part of femininity. That is a part of expressing that. And that is a part of being a woman, just being free and being cute, you know. I'm not knocking that at all. But it is to say that that alone does not make you a woman, because there's women out here, and I know people in my real life today that have the makeup, the lashes, the hair, the glitz, the glam and all of that, but they're shit individual at the end of the day. They're nothing like what a woman should quote unquote be. They're not nurturing, they're not kind, they don't give grace to anybody, they have nasty attitudes, they have nasty spirits, they have negative mindsets, they go out of their way to hurt other people. But at the end of the day, they want to tell you how much of a woman you aren't just because you're not doing exactly what they're doing. And again, I'm not saying that if you do subscribe to being a good girl that is wrong, but I do feel like a lot of it does come from people pleasing and trying to get a man because they think the man is the prize. But again, my question still remains, if men weren't in the equation and it wasn't the prize, would you still be doing all of the things that you do? Me personally, I feel like being a woman is exactly what you embody. It's about your traits. I don't even care how you express yourself, because everybody expresses themselves differently. But I am saying at your core, do you act like you are a quote unquote good woman? I guess I'm so frustrated because all my life I've been hearing about how I'm not woman enough because I don't do X, Y, and Z. And me personally, I kind of grew up a tomboy when I was younger. So I wasn't super girly, but I wasn't super, you know, like masculine. And there's nothing wrong with either side. That just wasn't me. I was always somewhere in the middle. And I was always told that I'll never have a man just because I'm always speaking my mind and I always have an opinion and I'm hard to deal with and all of that stuff. And I'm going to make a video on that specifically because I'm never going to beat the angry black woman allegations. And it's not because I'm actually angry. It's just because a lot of people feel like black women should just keep quiet about the stuff that they endure. We're supposed to just take all the abuse. We're just supposed to be quiet. We're supposed to just endure and suffer. And in hopes of constantly abandoning ourselves, we would get a man or a prize in return. turn. And how hurtful is it? Because I feel like too, as women, we should be able to be free and do whatever it is that we want, because again, everybody does not subscribe to the same version of femininity that society says is the right one. What about the girls who grow up and they want to do stuff like engineering, or they want to be a mechanic, or they want to be in STEM? What about the girls who want to be athletes? What about all the girls who want to do everything outside of what a woman should be doing for her life? All of a sudden, when you have interests that are outside of what society feels like a woman should be into, all of a sudden you're angry. All of a sudden you have too much masculine energy. And it's like, even if you do have masculine energy, what's the problem with having masculine energy? Me personally, I feel like a good woman is kind of balanced between the both. She has a good amount of femininity and masculinity. And then my question is, again, who would the masculine energy be wrong for? Again, it goes all the way back to believing that if you don't have too much masculine energy, that you will be chosen by a man at the end of the day. But my thing is, you cannot base your worth and who you are as a woman based off of if a man is going to choose you. First of all, it's 2026, okay? Society standards change every single day. And a lot of these men don't even know what they want. And even if they did know what they want, a lot of these women who thought they were going to be chosen just because they were subscribing to a certain version of femininity aren't even going to be chosen to begin with. Because I know people to this day who think that they're such a good woman, but you're really evil as fuck. You're not getting chosen by anybody. And I'm not even trying to be rude. I'm just really expressing my frustration with the stuff that I see on a daily basis. Because I think that this ideology is kind of harmful to people. Because why is it that women, especially black women, have to suppress who they are just to be chosen by somebody? Me personally, in my experience, me being free, me having an opinion, me having a voice, me speaking up for myself and doing all of the things, yeah, it might not get me chosen by a quote unquote man, right? But at the end of the day, I feel good because I'm serving me. I'm not doing everything in my life just to get a man or just to get some certain type of prize. I'm trying to serve me. I want to be happy. I want to be free. I want to be independent. And it's not to say independent in the way it's like, oh, I don't need a man, because I don't subscribe to that either. But it is to say I want to be free in the ways that will actually serve me and help me live a healthy and fulfilling life, because that's what actually matters to me. I don't care about trying to suppress who it is that I am just because I want to be chosen by somebody. And like I said before, I'm gonna make a whole separate video about this, that I'll never beat the angry black woman allegations. I've constantly been told that I'm too angry and I'm too masculine and that I'm not feminine enough because of the things that I'm into or the music that I listen to or any of the stuff, so I'll never have anybody. Or because my body doesn't look like this, I'll never have somebody. Or because I don't cook like this, or because I don't clean like this, or because I don't please like this, that I'll never have somebody. But it's like, is that all that you really believe being a woman is? I believe being a woman is your essence. When people come around you, do they feel calm? Do they feel at peace? Do they feel like they can trust you? Do they feel like you pour life into them? Do they feel like you nurture them? Do they feel safe with you? Do you care about other people? And I think it's so harmful too, because I see the cycles in so many different families and so many different people around the world. It's like women will literally stay in an abusive relationship just because they want a piece of a man, just because they want to be able to say that they have a man. They will literally start doing things that they have never done in their life just to get chosen by a man, or just to keep a man. And this is not even about, because I know somebody in the comments will be like, oh, you sound like you're just angry because you don't have a man. First of all, you don't know what I have, okay? Let's start there. You don't know what I have. But two, why do I have to be angry about not having a man to speak on issues that I see in the community? Why is that the case? Because I've heard that a lot growing up, that I'm just angry, but whole time it's just passion. A lot of people don't even have passion. A lot of these women who subscribe to being the good girl, doing everything right in life, a lot of them don't even have any passion. A lot of them don't even have personalities. They don't have their own thoughts. They don't think for themselves, and they subscribe to this mean girl type of behavior. All of these quote unquote girls out here are the same women that are harmful in real life, and then they get on the internet and say that everybody is weird, and people like me are weird because I'm stiff on them, because I'm not overly nice and in your face, and I don't do everything right, and I stand up for myself, and I have an opinion, and I think for myself, and I can stand on my own. All of a sudden I'm the weird one. All of a sudden I'm the problem. All of a sudden, oh my gosh, she's so mean. Am I really mean, or are you just a bitch? Am I really mean, or can I just sense that you have a negative spirit on you? Am I really mean, or are you just not a girl's girl like you think you are? And then don't even get me started on the ones that say that you're not woman enough just because you never have your nails done all the time, or you never have your makeup done all the time, or because you don't have your hair done a certain type of way, or because you don't have on a certain type of feminine outfit or whatever. A lot of the times, from the people I've observed in my real life, they don't ever do any of that stuff unless they're going outside. Unless they're going to an event, all of a sudden that's when they want to get dressed up, and that's when they think that they're doing their big one. I'm the type of person, if I have on makeup, I'm definitely gonna have it on every day. If I have my hair done, it's gonna be done all the time. If I dress a certain type of way, I'm going to dress like that all the time because that's a lifestyle for me. It's not an act. I don't feel like I have to do that just to get attention from somebody. That's why I'm so cool about it. Or maybe it's just me because I value different things. All of that stuff, I don't value doing all of that. A lot of these women who want to shame you because you don't do everything that they do, they're the same ones that start doing all of these things just because they get a man. Or they start doing it just to get a man. They don't do it because they want to do it for themselves or because they want to feel confident every day or because they want to feel better about themselves and have confidence and they want to level up and look better and feel good, right? And perform good at their jobs and doing whatever it is that they do or to get more opportunities. No, they're doing it solely so they can get attention on Instagram, solely so they can get a man, solely so they can do whatever they feel like they need to do just to get some attention. And just seeing these people in real life, especially with the whole personality thing, it's like, yes, you're a beautiful woman, but when you get around you, it's like you have no thoughts. What's your opinion on this, girl? I don't know. I just want to be quiet. I don't really know, girl. I'm not going to get into that. That's so weak to me. Women who don't have opinions, who can't think for themselves, who always have to band together to hop on one person, that's weak to me. That bully behavior, that's weak to me. Because what makes you feel like that you're a bully besides the fact that all of y'all are insecure together? Huh? I feel like part of being a woman is being a protector, protecting other women, standing up for other women, looking out for other women. But no, some of y'all would rather trample and step on other women just to get to what? A man? Because again, I asked the question at the end of the day, what are you doing all of this stuff for? What are the things that you're not participating in your life for? Because you want to keep a certain type of image so you look desirable, so you look like something that you're not? Me personally, being a woman is so much more than what it is that you look like and what man that you can serve. And it starts at our homes, y'all. It starts in our homes. It starts in our churches. The two main places where that conditioning takes place. And then you wonder why you have so many people out here mad at the world because they grew up believing that if they did everything right, they didn't do certain types of things, that they would get a man at the end of the day. Not even that they would get a certain outcome in their life for their career or something like that, but just so they could get a man. I see so many stories on TikTok about women who say that they grew up doing all of the things right. They didn't do this, they didn't do that. They made sure that they did this, they made sure that they were good in this area, just to find out that none of that will get you a reward. And this is what I was saying about playing the game. We have to learn how to start playing the game in a way that would actually benefit us. The reason why I do half of the stuff that I do is because I want to feel good about myself. I want to feel confident on a day-to-day basis because when I look good, I feel good. And when I feel good, I do good in life. I want to attract more opportunities, more money, more bags towards me. I could give a fuck about a man. I'm not saying that I subscribe to the whole Miss Independent, I don't need a man ideology, because I don't. I personally believe that you can do all the Miss Independent things that you want to do, but if you do happen to find somebody on your way to doing all of the things that you want that's actually a good man or whatever you're into, make sure that you hop on that, because it wouldn't be that smart if you didn't. But that's just me. That's just what I believe. But I refuse to be that person that's 30, 35, 40, 50 talking about all the things I wish I would have did and all the ways that I wish that I could have been free because somebody was trying to keep me in one singular box of what it means to actually be a woman. People pleasing is not synonymous with womanhood or femininity. Servitude is not synonymous with being a woman or having femininity. I'm not saying that if you are a natural person who loves to serve, you love to give, you love to do all of those things, that is wrong. But what I truly mean is that if you subscribe to the ideology of you have to be a good girl and literally mute and delete yourself and subscribe to bully culture and continuously perpetrating misogyny on other women just because you feel like that makes you better than the next, and just because that makes you feel like you're going to be chosen over the next one just to get some sort of goal, those are the women that I'm talking about that are the problem. I see way too many, I've experienced way too many, and I am over it. Because if all of that stuff makes me a woman, if I don't subscribe to any of that, what am I then? And again, why is it that I have to be an angry black woman just because I'm speaking on it? I'm not angry. I'm fed up though. I'm not angry, but it needs to be talked about and I'm passionate about it. And just because you feel my energy doesn't mean that I'm mad. If I was angry and if I was bitter, I would be going out here hurting other people too, because that's the only reason why these people are doing it. These people are still indoctrinated by society to believe that this is what they have to be in order to get something out of life, but it's not. I can't even tell you how much I've gotten done in my life just based off of being passionate, just based off of speaking up for myself and being honest, just based off of moving how I want to move and just truly embodying what I feel like my femininity is, because I know that it's different for everybody. But for me personally, it's about being caring and nurturing and kind and speaking life and helping things grow. That's the type of person that I am, not only for other people but for myself. And if I'm less of a woman to you or to anybody just because I have an opinion or just because I do what I want to do, then I'll be that then. But but you're not going to keep me in a box of being a quote-unquote good girl in hopes that, you know, you get a man or that you get some type of outcome in life, whatever they may be. Me personally, I want to be happy and healthy as a woman. I want to be fulfilled as a woman, and subscribing to being in a certain type of box or whatever is not going to make me feel that way. So I don't subscribe. And be okay with telling people that you don't subscribe to things. It's okay to tell people I don't subscribe to that. No, you know, I don't subscribe to that. Or for example, like people have always told me that I'll never have somebody because I'm hard to deal with, because I always have an attitude, because I always have something to say, and I always feel some type of way about stuff. Yeah, that might be the case for you, but it won't be the case for me. I'm gonna find people who love me for exactly who I am. The fact that I will stand up for somebody and for myself, the fact that I do have an opinion, the fact that I don't have to band together to bully somebody because they're not like me, I will never do that. And that's exactly what's gonna make me free, and that's exactly what's gonna keep me feeling my feminine energy. That's exactly what's gonna make me keep being who I am. At the end of the day, I don't care. I have no direction with this video, but I just really needed to get that off of my chest because I feel like that is so harmful. Even down to like the careers that we take in life. We feel like we can't have certain types of careers because women don't do it. So what if women don't do it? Be the woman who does do it. In the past, at some of my jobs, I've worked with so many guys over the years, and I've never felt out of place because I was trying to be desirable to them. They felt like bros to me. I never felt any type of way. If anything, in certain ways, they still treated me like I was a woman at the end of the day. But that's only because I was never trying to perform for them. And even with that aside, when you decide that you want to perform and try to get validation from men or whatever and be male-centered as a whole, you literally diminish your own worth. You literally start to devalue your own self because you're doing things that you wouldn't normally do. You're wearing things you wouldn't normally wear. You're saying things that you would never say. You're thinking things that you would never think. All for the validation of a man. And me personally, I've never meshed well with male-centered women, and if you are male-centered, you would never survive around me. This is not a man-hating channel, but it is to say I know too many women who subscribe to trying to get the validation of other men in life, and because of that, they try to hurt other women in the process of that. And even for the women who don't hurt other people in the process, the whole idea is still harmful in general, because you're not giving women and little girls time to explore themselves or to find out what it is that they like. You're just telling them what it is that it's supposed to be based off of what it is that you believe, and that takes away people's autonomy. And I don't believe in taking away people's autonomy to make decisions or to feel their feelings or to speak up for themselves in any type of way. We are all autonomous human beings, and we all deserve the right to choose, and that's with any aspect of life. So I don't really know what I wanted to say in this video. It's kind of a rant, so I don't really have any direction, but let me know y'all's thoughts on this video, and let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. You know, I'm very sorry, but this era that I'm in, I'm really just gonna be speaking my mind, and sometimes those will be rants like this one. But let me know what your guys' thoughts was, and if you find any value from it, please leave a like or a comment down below. It really does help my channel out a lot to know that you like videos like these. Go ahead and follow me on my Instagram right down below on the screen, and I will see y'all in my next video.